YouTube is weird. It's wonderful, but it is also super weird. And when I started my channel back in 2017, I never expected it to be a source of revenue or income, much less my full-time job one day. That it's the best job I've ever had by far. Like it's not even close. But it's also a very weird one. And as an individual who just sort of starts doing something for fun because you're interested in it, you can find yourself in some kind of tricky situations, especially working with companies and brands and stuff that like you might just not be prepared for. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to take just a little bit of time and share how I approach YouTube sponsorships, brand deals, how the stuff you see on the channel gets on the channel and what's behind it. And I think this is good information to share in general, but I also think that it's important for you, if you're watching my channel, to know what it means if I say a brand sent me something for free, or they didn't, or something is sponsored, or it's not. And I try not to do very much sponsored stuff, which we will talk about. So what that all comes down to is something that's on my website that I'll put a link in the description. It's what we're going to be going to in excruciating detail right now. And that is what I've called my ethics statement. It's something I developed in the summer of 2020. So about 3 years after my channel came into being, I sort of had these ways that I wanted to do things in my brain, but it was kind of amorphous and it didn't really exist in the real world. And so I decided I wanted to take all of that and put it into something that everybody could see. So it's there for my reference. It's there for your reference if you want to know how things are done. And it's also there for any potential brands, partners, sponsors. And it's also something that's there for anyone else who makes stuff. So if you want to borrow, modify, or use this ethics statement, it is ethical to steal my ethics statement and use it however you'd like. Just definitely make sure it works for you, because the stuff I have might not work for you if you just copy and paste it. You have different opinions and different experiences and stuff. I can easily say that this ethics statement is one of the best and most useful tools that I've ever found for running my channel. And when I made it, it's honestly kind of brand unfriendly, and that's intentional. The way I've described it is if a company wants to like crawl through a field of broken glass to then consider working together, that's a good sign for me, because it probably means I won't be taken advantage of as just a single individual person who makes stuff. But because of that, when I made this, I was told that it was going to be incredibly damaging and it was going to cause a lot of problems and no one would want to work with me. And there are definitely brands who have seen this and I've never heard from them again. And that's awesome. That's kind of the point of it. I don't want to hear from them again. I want to weed out the very few partners that are genuinely good partners. So let's go line by line through this whole thing and you'll have a better understanding of how I approach things, and maybe you'll find some stuff that'll be useful for yourself, for your own use as well. So if you go to my website, which is hi-my-name-is-tom.com, there's a tab at the top that says ethics, and that will take you right to the ethics statement. This is the only ethics statement that I have. This is the page that you see. It's the same page that anybody from any brand or any company will see. If I get approached by anybody, this is the first thing I send them when I say, thanks for your message, I appreciate it. Before we talk about anything, I want to be sure we're on the same page. So check out this page over here on my website. And sometimes then I never hear from them again. I like to start off by acknowledging that my channel is not the largest on the YouTube platform, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm dictating like, I'm so great at my channel. You know, this has been here since the channel was at roughly 20,000 subscribers, which is still way bigger than I ever thought it could possibly get. And I just want to acknowledge it's not about the size of the channel's audience, but it's about the relationship, the integrity, and protecting. I really love my channel and I love making videos, and this protects that. Sponsored content is extremely rare on my channel, just like a steak at a fine dining restaurant. It is extremely rare. If I choose to work with a brand, it will always be because I actually use the product or service myself and genuinely trust that brand to provide excellent customer service and support. If something is awesome, but if the warranty isn't there, or if you have a problem with it and they're not going to help out, I don't really want to recommend that thing, because if somebody spends their money on something that I recommended, I want them to get the support and service that they deserve from that. More importantly, I will always make it abundantly clear that such content is sponsored. If I don't explicitly say a video is sponsored, then it is not sponsored. I used to spend a lot of time sort of disclaiming videos. You know, if I bought a microphone and I would make a video about it, I'd spend so much time talking about how it's not sponsored, not sponsored. And that is kind of annoying, to take a minute or two at the top of a video to talk about what the video isn't. So if a video is sponsored, I will be sure to tell you. If a video is not sponsored, if I don't say anything, then the video is just not sponsored. And in bold right here, a thing that all brands would love to see, in general, I prefer not to create sponsored work, which is true, even in the best scenarios. And I've worked with some really fantastic brands and partners that I love, but even in the best scenarios, you have somebody else's, fingerprints, somebody else in the kitchen. There's another chef in that kitchen, and it causes a bit of stress, and it adds a little bit of pressure on something that I don't want to be stressful and I don't want to have pressure. So in general, I prefer not to create sponsored work. If I do partner with a brand, you can bet they've seen this page and that I've been able to build a relationship with them over an extended period of time based on mutual trust and understanding. One of the very first sponsored things I ever did was with Artlist. And the first time that I did an Artlist sponsored video, I had been talking with the person from Artlist for a year and a half prior. They'd originally approached me a year and a half and wanted to do something sponsored, and I wasn't ready. I was kind of scared and nervous, but we kind of maintained our relationship and communication. They understood where I was coming from, how I approach things. And then when I felt ready and they asked, hey, you want to do something sponsored now? I was like, yeah, I think now might actually be a really good time. Beyond that, I think it's important to question the purpose behind a sponsorship. For me personally, a sponsor should support and enable what I do, and ideally that's a win-win-win situation for the viewer, the brand, and myself. My channel has never been and never will be an extension of any brand's marketing department. Sponsored content is sort of innately marketing material in a way, but there is a way to do it that is authentic and genuine and equally beneficial for everybody involved, but it's tough. It's tough to navigate that, to build those relationships, and to sort of set those boundaries and set those expectations. And that's what I try to do, which is why I have 450 videos on my channel, and I think I've done 10, maybe 12 sponsored videos. Most of them are absolutely not sponsored, and this is a big reason why. Most of the equipment and products that I use and review are purchased by me, but sometimes I will rent or borrow equipment, and occasionally companies will send a product to me free of charge, and I will always clearly state in the video and the description that it was provided to me at no cost. A big question that people have is, why do you even... If you just didn't accept free products, you wouldn't have to worry about this at all, which I know. If I just bought everything myself, this would never be an issue. I'd never have to think about what anybody cared. It wouldn't matter, right? And that's kind of how I ran the channel for a long time, was when I need something, I'll get a piece of gear and I'll talk about that piece of gear. But a weird thing happened as the channel grew, which was that people started asking for my opinion about things, which was genuinely flattering and an honor, and honestly a big responsibility, because somehow for some people in their world, when they want to know about something related to this type of gear or these type of workflows, they want some of my input to help make their decision. And that is super cool. And it made me realize that, sometimes I might need to try something out or work with something or explore something that I don't necessarily need. It's not something I'm in the market for, but having an opinion about it, being able to share some knowledge about it is beneficial. And so having an easier way to get access to that keeps me from just going broke. And so that's why free products are accepted. It's definitely not because I definitely didn't put all of the time, effort, and money into building this channel to get a free microphone or a free GoPro or something. That is a terrible, terrible return on that investment. Just go to Best Buy and buy one and be done with it. When it comes to gear, I don't like it when gear doesn't get used. So I either do try to make sure that I have a use for everything, and if I don't, it's something that I can just return to the company, or it's something that I can donate. This next paragraph is very important. Offering free products never guarantees a positive review or even a review video at all. I never, ever, ever make videos in exchange for free products. So I've told companies, literally, if you're comfortable sending this thing into a black hole where you will never see it again, go ahead and send it to me. Otherwise, do not send it to me. Do not reach back out and go hey, when can we expect that video? The answer at that point will probably be never, because I do not make videos in exchange for free products. This intro paragraph is probably enough to at least set the tone, but I also wanted to take things further and actually do some very specific bullet points about how I approach things. This is, again, kind of exhaustive, but I really want to go through it just so that we're all on the same page and I can be as transparent as possible. So, All that being said, there are a few additional non-negotiable points I'd like to share for the sake of clarity. I've made all of this info publicly available to viewers and brands alike, so we're all on the same page. Number one, my content is my own. I create and produce each video based on what I'm excited about and what I think will be relevant, helpful to my audience at that time. That really means that I don't like to follow product release schedules for the most part unless it's something really exciting that I'm excited about. My reviews are always as objective as possible and my opinions are always my own. I do have, because I'm a human being, believe it or not, my own biases, and I can be not as objective as I want to be sometimes, but I try and be as objective as possible, and I try not to let anyone else influence my opinion. I do not submit previews of videos to anyone for approval or revisions, no exceptions. There are a lot of reasons for that, but a big one too is like, this is my channel. I'm not doing freelance client work where I'm going to do multiple revisions of this. No, this is my video. I made it. I worked really hard on it. It's not perfect probably, but I've thought about every frame and every cut and every second of it, and this is what I'm comfortable putting out there. Nobody else gets to have any say in that. I have full control over my content calendar. While I'm happy to work collaboratively when possible for scheduling, no outside party can pay or otherwise influence me in return for scheduling priority. A lot of times this happens, companies releasing a product and they want you to, hey, post a video on this date at this time. No. For years now, I've posted videos at 5:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Thursday. And unless I want to change that, that's when my videos get posted. Sometimes I post other ones because I want to, but not because it fits into some corporation's product release schedule. I do not care about that. Just because a product is provided to me at no cost does not mean I will review it or feature in a video. Again, just reiterating that I do not make videos in exchange for free products or services. I never work with Amazon resellers, only directly with reputable brands. I do use Amazon affiliate links, but Amazon resellers, that's where you're kind of like, it's a little messy because even though you're buying something on Amazon, you're not necessarily buying it from Amazon, and it goes back to the thing of like, I don't know what kind of service and support or quality this person would be able to provide somebody who bought something from them. So my Amazon links go to the sellers and the pages that I trust, that I would order and have ordered that same equipment from myself. I typically avoid pre-production versions of products and software and prefer to use what will actually be delivered to other customers. This is sometimes like the Rodecaster Pro 2 is an example. I had this before it came out, and so I was using beta firmware, and I chose to make videos using the beta firmware, being very clear that that's what I was using. But because people were so curious about it, and I was excited about it, instead of waiting like a month, I could use it and answer a bunch of questions and kind of like shed some light on it rather than waiting. And so I ended up using beta firmware for that. But for the most part, when I get something, I don't want to use the beta firmware. I don't want to use the pre-production model of something, because by the time it's actually available for sale, what people are getting might not be the thing that I actually used. It could be better, it could be worse, but it's not really helpful if you're watching me use something that's not actually what you get to use too. It's appreciated when companies offer information about their products and services, but I will only include what I think is relevant and necessary in any videos I create. Essentially, I know that they're going to provide a whole tech list of every specification for a product, but I'm not the instruction manual. I don't want to just sit there and read every tech spec. I want to include what I think is interesting. I don't use every feature that every product has. I kind of focus on the ones that I think are interesting and that fit my workflow the best, and that what I think might be interesting and helpful to you. So I appreciate having all the info, but it doesn't mean I'm going to include it in every video. But on that same note, I will work to seek answers for anything about a product or service that I don't fully understand to make my videos as accurate and helpful as possible. So if I'm going through something and I have a question or something's not making sense, I will reach out and ask for clarification, ask for more info. I will do my due diligence as best as possible in that regard as well. So it is, a two-way street. While it usually makes sense to include certain links in video descriptions or social media posts, that was a weird sound. I retain full control over what is shared on my accounts across all platforms, and I never include additional social media promotion in sponsorship agreements, Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, Friendster, Blogspot. One, my social media is a complete mess and nobody would benefit from paying to put anything on there at all. But two, that gets weird and messy, and you're seeing a story that's me like, hey, look, I did something funky in my studio that I'm proud of, and now here's something else that's like kind of a commercial, but you're unclear if it's not It gets weird. YouTube's includes paid promotion option will be checked anytime a video features a product or service that was provided at no cost, even if it's not an official sponsorship. So this is definitely a gray area where YouTube creators are held to higher standards than like actual movie and television creators are, and I think that that's kind of stupid, but it is what it is. So here's what that means. When you go into YouTube and you upload a video, you have all these different options that you can check. And that's this one right here that says my video contains paid promotion like a product placement, sponsorship, or endorsement. And this is a weird gray area because, you know, if a company sends something to me and I'm under no obligation to do anything with it, but I suddenly decide I really like this and I want to do something with it, I have to check this box because technically I'm supposed to. And then when the video starts playing, it puts up a little thing that says includes paid promotion, but there really wasn't paid promotion. But right here it says, if you accepted anything of value from a third party to make you video, you must let us know. It's one of those cases where if you can just buy something yourself and not have it sent to you for free, then you never have to worry about any of this. But sometimes that's not practical. So anytime a company sends something to me for free and then I make a video about that thing, even if it's absolutely no obligation on my part to do that video or say anything about it, I will still check this box. And it can be confusing because then you see a paid promotion thing and you're going to think it's sponsored content, but it's not really sponsored content, but I'm following the YouTube rules. Anyway, I guess it's best to be safe than sorry, so that's what I do. And when it comes to sharing videos, I have a line here that says I'm more than happy to let others share my videos as long as the post links directly to the original video uploaded to my YouTube channel. Videos may not be re-uploaded elsewhere. Sometimes if you work with a brand, they will want to have a copy of your video to upload to like their own channel or their own social media. I don't like that. It just needs to go back to my channel. I don't want my work living on somebody else's channel. If I find myself considering a sponsored campaign that includes other creators, I will work to confirm there's a representative mix of genders, ethnicities, orientations. It's kind of nice to get some other representation, other perspectives, other experiences in there. So I try my best to do that as much as possible, at least as much as brands are willing to share about campaigns that they're working on. I do not guarantee any number of views or any amount of audience engagement on any videos or content. As much as I want everything I create to perform well, there are way too many variables beyond my control for me to make any claims regarding potential viewerships. But to amend that, I do watch all my videos after they're uploaded to make sure everything looks and sounds and is working well. So I can guarantee at least one view. That's my viewer thing. Is the video is going to get one view. That's going to be me. And this down here is just sort of an addendum to that because this is something that I've had multiple people say with a straight face that we want this video to go viral. Yeah, me too. Like if I knew how to make every video a viral sensation, why would I not do that every time? Why would I have 10 out of 10 super low ranked videos on YouTube? So down here at the bottom, I just say thanks for reading it. It doesn't cover every scenario under the sun, but of course, if there's any questions, you can reach out. This is why I do this right here, why I have this ethics statement. Ultimately, I just want to keep having fun making videos, and that sustainable fun disappears without these guidelines. And again, if you're a creator yourself, feel free to steal this ethics statement, modify it, adjust it, use it however you want. I think it is a valuable tool, and I think that in the world of brands working with creators, there are some brands out there, unfortunately, who will prey on the naivete of a creator, especially someone who's just starting out. The first time you get offered a free product or a little bit of money to make a video, it can feel really exciting, and some people just sort of jump at that opportunity when in reality they're being taken advantage of by a brand. And if you're somebody who says, no, I have these standards, I have these rates, whatever it might be, but a brand knows, okay, well, we'll just ignore you and just go to this other person that we can totally take advantage of. Again, that's not good for anybody. So I think the more creators, in whatever way they choose, hold themselves to higher standards, stand up for themselves when it comes to working with brands, and charge professional rates for the work that they create when working with brands, I think that's good for everybody, the creators, the brands, and the viewers. So as I said at the beginning, having this has been one of the best tools and resources that I've built for my channel. And if you don't have this or something like it, I definitely recommend, if you're a creator, that you do. If you have all these thoughts in your head and these guidelines of how you approach things, getting it out of your brain and actually sort of into something that's shareable and an easy reminder for you and everybody else is really valuable and definitely something I recommend. And if you're not a creator, but you're a viewer and you watch videos and you wonder what it means when I say a brand sent this, but I'm under no obligation to say anything about it, this is what that means. This is what that looks like. I really do try to put a lot of thought and time and effort into keeping things open and honest and my own without letting some corporation put their fingerprints all over it and mess it up, because that does just mess it up. And I don't want to be the home shopping network. I don't want to be QVC. I don't want to be the marketing department of any brand. I want to be a nerd who likes audio and video equipment and then talks to other people about stuff related to audio video things that I think is really cool. And that is pretty much it. And speaking of things that are super cool and help me to continue being an independent creator, thank you to everyone who helps support my channel through Patreon and YouTube channel memberships.